Hey guys, we're back with another video. This is part 2 of questions and answers. So, I just wanted to clarify something. Um, Someone comment on the part 1 video and they were asking if Mike was Caucasian. And when you fill out the demographics, when you're filling out an application and it says white, black, da, 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 and then Hispanic and Latino or neither has its own section. So I don't know, he jokingly said that he clarified he classifies himself as Asian. Then he said he's tan. So
yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
But no, he is not Caucasian. He is Hispanic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the question.
Question number 4. Okay. You want to read?
Okay, so it says, talk about the difference between a godly relationship versus a worldly relationship. When you're in a godly relationship, you're not only focused on your relationship with your significant other, but you're also including God in the midst of it. God should be in the center of each and every person's relationship, because without him, how are you going to continue to strive through your relationship when things get hard, when there are hardships, when there are obstacles? And today is our 5-month anniversary, guys, by the way. Anyways, so but yeah, like it's hard to have a relationship without God, because like when things get hard, who do you turn to? I mean, you have your friends, you have your families and those individuals, but how can you feed your soul? How could you feed your spirit? Because you can receive advice, but the thing is your spirit really getting the food that it needs? And with the worldly relationship, there's a lot. It's like so many people are in relationships because they say, they're in a relationship, I want to be in a relationship too. They're doing it because they see it as a trend, and relationships are not a trend. Like 2 years ago, I remember everybody was getting engaged from left to right, and I'm like, and to this day now, those who are seen got married and got engaged are no longer together. They're no longer together. And I just feel like they felt the pressure, or they felt like, oh, everybody's doing it, so let me do it. You shouldn't go in. Yeah, you shouldn't go in with that mindset, because it's not going to work. You're not doing it for your significant other. You're doing it for the world. You're doing it for social media. You're doing it for the likes. You're doing it for the followers. But are you doing it for you, the person, and God? Like, is this the person that God told you to be with? Is this the person that God spoke to you and say, hey, this is a person for you, get married? No. Did he literally come down and speak to you face to face? Like, you really have to think about that. Don't do it because everybody's doing it. And that's one thing about me. Like, when a trend is out, I tend to fall back until the trend is like old. Like, for example, the Drake dance. What is it called? I don't even know. In My Feelings?
I don't know.
Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? You know.
I don't know the name, but I know of it. I never did it.
We're gonna teach them some hip hop. Everybody, can we just bow our heads in a moment of silence? Yes, thank you, Lord. Amen. All right, so woo, you should know that song. But there was a dance that came out, and everybody was doing it. Everybody, like, even now during this quarantine, everybody's doing like these TikToks, videos. I didn't download TikTok. I'm like, I will not download TikTok, and everybody's doing it. So I don't know. I'm just not a trend follower, and I just feel like everybody's getting into relationships or getting married, getting engaged for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to talk about godly and worldly?
Well, before I let me comment on what you just said, that last part there. I got a buddy who, I don't even know if you met this girl, but like in person, but he got into a relationship because he was lonely, and that is a terrible reason to have a relationship. You don't go in a relationship because you're lonely. You go in a relationship because that person betters you, and because you're already set with yourself. You got to be content with yourself before you can be content with somebody else. You know, you don't need somebody to make you happy. We are made for connections. Yes, that is how we were made in the image of God, by being made in His image and to connect with people. But you can't connect if you can't even connect with yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to be okay by yourself before you can be okay with someone else. You know, God's not going to bring you somebody if you're not there. You have to at least be okay with yourself. There's other things that come into play, but that's all stuff that can be worked on. Before you can meet somebody that's for you, you have to be okay with yourself. You know, if not, it's not going to work. Maybe you met the person already, and maybe you already know that person is your husband or your wife. But if you're not ready or they're not ready, you can try as hard as you want. All you're going to do is break stuff. You're going to break the possible connection, and it's just going to cause pain. The best way to deal with that is follow God. Learn everything you can in the Bible. Learn what He wants you to learn. Read, stay in tune, pray, worship, and just stay connected to Him. If you aren't okay with yourself, He will teach you to be. And until you learn that, you're not going to have the relationship you want. And that's one of the things with the world. They don't understand that. They're looking for something they don't have themselves, which is security. You have to have security with yourself. And that comes back to being okay with yourself, being good, being alone. Because when you're looking just because you're lonely or because you want a connection, all you're going to do is burn bridges. You're going to hurt that person and you're going to hurt yourself. You can't force anything. And that's like kicking a door down when you're not ready. So that's the biggest thing. That's the difference between a godly and a worldly relationship. Worldly relationship, you look because trend setting, loneliness, and that's not the way to go about it. That's not the way to build a healthy relationship. In a godly relationship, you need to set God before her or him. And God will take care of the rest.
Yep. Like, you're supposed to love God more than you love the person that you're with. Don't put anyone before God, not even your parents. Like, don't put anyone before God, because we are His children. He's our Father. We ask Him for things that we need. He said, come to me, seek and ye shall find. And it's like, do it and you'll see. It may not happen right then and there, but you know.
Yeah.
So the next question.
All right. Numero cinco. Talk about what areas you had to compromise. Kind of went over that a little bit in the previous one.
Hold on, what area did I have to compromise? You mean what I have to work on myself? You mean about me being petty? I'm not. But I'm not petty though. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not really. All right, you could go because I don't think I had to compromise anything because we're like
we're pretty insane.
Yeah, the both of us know what we want in the future. We know what we want from each other, and like, okay, he may do some things and he's like he's gonna work on it, you know. So it's not like a huge compromise, but it's just small little things, maybe like a eating habit or.
Here's an example. One thing that normally has to be compromised with your partner is that person's love language. You got to learn that person's love language. Everybody's different. For example, I'm somebody who I like to be up close and personal. I like touchy-feely. And
I don't.
She's not.
She's
not quite like that. And
it's like, all right, like, okay, I'll give you a little 2 minutes. I can't even say 5. I'll give you a little 2 minutes, but after that, it's like, okay, can I have my hand back? Like, can I have my arm back? Like, don't touch my face, my pretty face. Anyways,
but gorgeous face.
I know y'all might think that I'm weird, but it's just something that it relates to a lot of things. It ties into.
It's just how she is. It's how you are. And
it's how I am, and it ties into the past and everything, things of that nature.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because when you love somebody,
you'll
do what you have to. You learn to love them the way they need to be loved and they want to be loved.
Okay, did you have to compromise something?
I had to learn about that.
Okay.
What
did I have to compromise?
Pull back.
What did I have to compromise?
I mean, you got more comfortable with it, and we learned to communicate. Like, hey, I'm not feeling that right now. Can we slow down?
Yeah.
Like, and that's all it is. It's not always some huge thing like. I can't even think of something right now. But it's not always like a huge type of thing. You know, it's all in the details.
Okay, so let's continue with question number 6. So, talk about what you think is the key for a healthy relationship.
Well, that was rushed.
It's not rushed. But anyways, the key is. Go ahead and say it.
Communication.
Yep. I already knew that's what he was going to say because it's true. Because without communication, you cannot do anything.
It's true. Without communication, how do you
trust a person?
How do you know how that person feels? How do you know if you're overstepping your bounds? And I don't mean like obvious things. I mean like details. How do you know if the person likes you to touch their arm or if they feel uncomfortable with that? How do you know if they're not in the mood to kiss you or things like that? It doesn't have to be something huge, but you have to be able to communicate everything. Your likes, your dislikes, your feelings, all that has to come out. And guys, I'm talking to you. you gotta be able to express how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You
Not
have to.
in the aggressive way.
It's not an unmanly thing. In fact, talking about your feelings is one of the most manly things you can do. Why? Because it's so hard for us. Okay? You need to be able to let her know how you feel. And you have to do it in a respectful manner. You gotta do it in a way that you're not, like she said, aggressive. Don't use aggressive words. Don't use something that's gonna make her feel like she's a problem, or whatever the situation is, like it's a problem. You gotta take ownership. If you did something wrong, you gotta be like, hey, I'm sorry. You gotta be like, hey, I didn't like this. And talk about it. Put your feelings on the table. And let what happens happen. But talk about it. Work on it. That's all you gotta do. And in that amount of time, you will learn to understand. Because understanding comes after communication, and that is another big key to a healthy relationship.
Yep. So if you're not communicating where you're going, best believe that she's gonna think that you're cheating, and she cannot trust you because you cannot communicate. Communication is the root to the relationship, and the main person in the relationship is God. Never forget that. Okay, guys, so that's it for part 2 of our questions and answers. Please, 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 please share our video. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below how you feel about our topics. If you have any ideas you want to share with us, just let us know.
Please, yes, just drop them down in the comments. If you have us on Instagram or Facebook, shoot us a message. Let us know. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you think of what we're talking about. If you agree, if you don't agree, we want to hear your opinions. Let us know how we're doing.
Okay. And we're signing off.
Love you guys.